I want to do a podcast about films.
I'm not stopping you.
No, with you, you fool.
Oh, so you mean you want us to do a podcast about films?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you say that?
I did. I am.
Well, you can't say films. You need to say movies. It's a more broadly recognised term.
Yeah, don't worry about that now. Are you interested?
Well, we can't just talk about films we like. That would be boring.
Okay, then what about films we don't like?
That sounds even more boring.
Okay, how about this? Films we disagree on.
Ah, intriguing. So one of us likes it, the other one doesn't, and we discuss our opinions on the film?
I think you mean movie.
Yeah, don't worry about that now.
But yeah, that's the gist of it.
All right, I'm in.
Great.
Could still be boring, though.
You're boring.
I don't see how that's relevant.
Should we do one now? Hello and welcome to Movie the Needle, a podcast where two complete amateurs haphazardly dissect a film that one of us likes, and one, well, not so much. My name's Simon, and I'm joined by my good friend Carl, and we'll be explaining our opposing viewpoints and seeing whether we can movie the needle for the other person. This week, we are discussing the 2006 adventure drama thriller starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Blood Diamond. I will need a piss shortly, by the way.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You just say when you're ready, mate.
Are we on?
And we're on. We're off. Might even leave this in.
All right. All right, Carl, how are you doing today?
Well, it's nice to be here.
It is nice to be here, like specifically here,
Yes.
next to me.
Well,
Close.
if you like, I am next to you, and it is close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I suppose so.
And we have now recorded, or we're recording, more than one podcast now. So I'm going to say that makes me a podcaster.
I don't think you can say that until anything is out there.
It is out there, because as soon as someone's listening to this, it's out there. You know, I'm just saying.
This is true.
It's getting a bit meta.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit timey-wimey stuff, but hey-ho. But yeah, anyway, the CV's getting updated. I'm going to be podcaster on LinkedIn, influencer maybe, who knows.
Are you going to put that on your CV?
No, I'm
Can
really
you
not.
imagine? You can't do that.
Yeah, which podcast? Oh no, I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No.
You might listen to it, then
Yeah.
I'd never get a job.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not looking for a job. Current employer, hello.
Well, you will be able to hear this. I think that's what we've established.
That's a fair point. Yeah, got to be careful who I tell. But anyway, as I say, this is no longer our first podcast. That is in the past. And I did get some nice feedback from the wife.
But this is in the
Played
past
the
as
first
well.
One. It's what?
You said we were getting meta. This is in the past as well.
This is yes,
And
true.
so is this.
Oh god,
And so is this.
Oh,
That I've
dear.
just said. And this.
brilliant. And now I'm cross-eyed. It makes it a lot more difficult to read my notes. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I got some feedback from the wife, which is good. The first bit being, is that your voice? It's like do I sound different on here?
I can't believe she mistook your voice for my voice.
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I think she just thought you were sitting
I
here
was
with
with
someone else.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've got rid of him. He was rubbish the first time round. So we've
recast him.
yeah.
Much like Back to the Future, we've just halfway through and then just recast the lead.
Yeah.
So just re-record everything. Who knows? But she also said I sound a bit like AI,
Yes.
which is I'd say not a compliment.
No, God, no.
No. So I'm some sort of cross between Stephen Hawking's voice and Siri or Alexa or various things.
It's not a million miles wide of the mark, though, does it? Promises a lot, delivers little.
There you go. Sorted. So anyway, I'm going to see if I might try things like Alexa, talk dirty to her, and see if that works.
Yeah.
See if that goes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. She might like it. I don't know. She didn't say she liked the voice. That is the key bit there.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. It's just more your horrible voice sounds like horrible AI is
Yeah.
probably more what she meant there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Less
Enough
of your
about
marital
Yeah.
conflicts.
Yeah, this is going to turn into a different show after 2 episodes. Brilliant. So, Carl, you are jetting off on holiday soon.
Yep.
So it's a fairly long flight, right?
Mm-hmm. Movie time, baby.
Yeah, one of my favourite things to do in a plane. One of them to do in a plane.
Are any of the? Can you get in trouble for any of the others?
Let's face it, I've not done any of the others.
Because of the AI voice thing, right?
Exactly. She hears the pilot's voice and then just hears my stupid AI voice. No interest whatsoever.
You could be a pilot. You could do a pilot voice.
I could be a pilot. You're forgetting the one main thing about a pilot.
They land themselves.
They're not just do the voiceovers.
Yeah, you could do the pilot voice anyway.
I mean, I don't know. I think I know. I think I'd need to. I'd need to do my my professional voice.
Yeah. You could pass for a pilot.
There we go.
Next anniversary, get a hat.
All those little carry-ons.
Yeah.
Probably a drinking problem, and then we're sorted.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get to watch movies on a plane, which I've not done for a long time, so pretty jealous of you. But I was wondering, got me thinking, like, do you have criteria for the movies you watch on a plane?
Absolutely not.
So even if there's no like, oh, I'm on an aisle seat, I've got to watch something appropriate.
No, don't mind.
So put Saltburn on straight on the aisle seat, just replay that final scene.
Yes, although Vicky did raise that this time, because we'll be flying with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
So she did say that, we'll have to be careful what we're watching, which I roundly dismissed out of hand.
I mean, you're at the mercy of what is available as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's always the case.
There was a good selection last time I flew with TUI, which is who we're flying with again. So I don't have a criteria. I will try to watch something I haven't seen, because, you sat down and nowhere else to go, so it's a good opportunity to do that. And then if there is a film that I really like, I'll probably watch that as well, that I've seen before. But no criteria. It could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, I am a big believer in not trying to watch the latest big blockbuster. Seeing it on that side screen, not going to be ideal.
Yeah.
You don't want to be watching your Tenet on a plane.
I did watch Tenet on a plane for the first time.
And you actually liked it as well, and you heard any word of it. So
if you think the audio has issues at home or in a cinema,
which I do, so I look forward. Are you going to tell me when you get back what you're going to watch?
Absolutely. Excellent. I'll probably give you a very wordy and meandering rundown of
I think
of everything I watched.
All right, good stuff. Anything else been going on with you?
Well, film-wise, I am currently trying to fill a James Bond-shaped hole in my life. Oh. Having recently finished rewatching them all from first to last.
Impressive feat, I'd say. Well, maybe not impressive. Impressive is probably the wrong word.
Yeah, it took me quite a while though. I didn't force it. And although there were moments within that Odyssey where it gets, a bit on top of you. You get worn down a bit because they are very similar films, obviously. And especially when I'm balls deep in Roger Moore. Let me tell you, couldn't wait to get out. Couldn't wait to pull out of the lad. There were moments.
Screaming for Dalton.
Yeah, I was screaming for Dalton. There were moments where it was a bit heavy going, but I really miss it now. I'm on a bit of a patchy run with films, shall we say, and sometimes I really just think, it'd be great to just put on the warm embrace of a James Bond film.
It also takes away the thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're like, what should I watch? Well, I'm watching the next Bond. Sorted. I don't have to scroll through millions of films and figure one out and worry whether it's going to be good or not. You know it's not going to be good when you put it on.
So I'm thinking I might get steady on. I'm thinking I might get Jean-Claude Van Damme to fill the hole.
Okay.
So I Van Damme fan, and he's got loads of
Van Damme
films.
fan. Is that the Chinese version?
What do you mean by that?
Oh dear.
So we've done
It's
Americans
already.
Now we've done Chinese.
Yeah. Let's see what other large portions of the world I can upset.
Yeah, so I might do that. Something to look forward to anyway. We'll see how it goes.
All right, let's get on to the movie this week. And it is the 2006 even, Edward Zwick. Zwick? What do you think? Zwick? It's going to be Zwick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The old American pronunciation thing. Is he American? Don't even know that. Let's say
You
Edward
don't even know that.
Zwick
You're
directed.
so desperate to make a point about Americans not being able to say things right.
Let's just call him American.
You went with it anyway.
He could be Czech. I don't know.
Or you've got to beef with them as well, have you?
No. Love the Czechs. Perfect pattern for a tablecloth.
Oh.
Right. Oh, this has gone off the rails already. Right, we are talking this week about the 2006 American Edward Zwick, maybe, directed Blood Diamond. So, as a reminder, I guess, we have a very simple scale on the Movie Need podcast. So, a 5-point scale. We rate all of our movies based on whether we really like it, kind of ambivalent, don't like it, and really don't like it. And it's fair to say, Carl, that where are you positioned on this one?
I like this film.
You like it. You like it. Okay, well, I don't like this film. So, 2 degrees of separation, if we will, on this. So, interesting to see if we're going to be able to movie our needles towards each other.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
It's just ripe, isn't it? So, let's start with why you like this movie. Give us the highlights.
Okay. A fairly uncomplicated take here, I think. This film is just Hollywood doing Hollywood, right? It's a bit Oscar baity, and that's fine. I just think the on-screen experience of this really delivers. I can put it on, not think too much about it, and just enjoy it. It has got some third act problems, but if you're not paying, I don't want to say too much attention, but if you're not thinking too deeply about it, it's fine. It's got all that Hollywood production. It's got a big star. I mean, it has got a pretty interesting story. It's just a classic cinema experience. Oh, and DiCaprio and Hounsou. Really, really good screen presences as well, which I always enjoy. But you definitely need that in a classic popcorn movie.
So good stuff. I mean, interesting that you say it's a popcorn movie, because I don't know. I feel like it's trying to be something else, and I think that's kind of why I'm sitting on the don't like it. It's right mixed up. It's like, am I a big Hollywood blockbuster action thing? Am I a message movie, Oscar baity, trying to educate the world about a very pressing and important issue? And I feel it gets mixed up in that, and it's neither one nor the other. I have problems with a few different parts of this, which we'll obviously get onto in more detail as we go on. But yeah, I was left when I watched this and rewatched it, just really not thinking it hit either of the two briefs. Got somewhere lost in the middle, and there were some rather large problems with it, which we'll go into more detail shortly. All right, let's talk about the cast, or cast, depending on which day of the week I decide my accent is going to go.
Yeah. How faithful you are to your southern roots.
Yep, it really could go either way, but let's go for cast today. Yeah. So kick things off with me. Come on, tell me about Leo.
He's not my favourite actor, but I do quite like a lot of films with him, I have to say. He's got some real charisma. I mentioned earlier about screen presence. He's absolutely nailing this. Like I said, don't mean he's a great actor, but he's essentially playing petulant dickhead man in this, whereas previously his other roles have been petulant dickhead boy, right? And that is right in his wheelhouse. So I think he's delivering that screen presence, which is doing it well, serving the film well. I will say he's not believable as a soldier.
Yeah,
that bit of his backstory didn't sit right.
Although he has clearly been working out. Done a little bit of working out.
Yeah,
but no.
And well, what did you think of DiCaprio?
Well,
so I have got one more note, but I have a feeling you're going to say it. So
is it relating to his accent?
Yes, it's relating to his accent. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's go straight to the accent now. I am no expert in accents, right? But I did find it funny that in the movie he gets accused, not accused. He gets told he is South African, not accused.
He's not South African.
Yeah, and he says, "Oh, actually, no, I'm from
I see. Yeah,
Rhodesia,
Yeah.
Zimbabwe." I found it funny when I heard that. I was just like, I thought they were just going to make him like, "Oh yeah, Zimbabwe, grew up in South Africa. That's why my accent's a little bit all over the place." So I like to think that that's a late addition after they heard what he was doing, but I don't know. What did you think of his accent?
It's off-putting, isn't it? The first time I watched this film, this is like way back when, I kind of dismissed it out of hand because, DiCaprio's doing a silly voice. I've since watched like a couple of like dialect coach videos, and apparently it's not all that bad. It does get some mixed reviews still, but apparently it's not that bad at all. The bit he's doing with the what's the pigeon language bit? What's that?
I want to say Creole, is that?
Yeah, the bit
Creole?
he's doing the Creole apparently is much better than his sort of...
I can imagine a lot of people have jumped on that. That I didn't have a problem with that once I realised what was happening. Yeah.
Well, and this is where I'm at with it. First time round it threw me out as well, but this time having sort of thought, well, maybe it's not that bad. It didn't bother me.
You watched that in isolation though, like as in watch a clip of that. You'd be like, what the fuck is going on here?
Maybe.
What is he doing? What's going on? But interesting you said that, he's a petulant boy doing a petulant man thing. It does seem a little bit like, where this was kind of positioned on his filmography. It's like, oh, yeah, boy to man. Yeah, you need to, tick that off. Oh, accent.
Oscar bait, mate, yeah.
Accent, tick that off. Good stuff, right? We're building the career. Because this was, what, post Aviator, same year as Departed. I mean, both. I want to say he was Oscar nominated for both of those. I don't know if that's true, but he was definitely nominated for Best Actor for this. Didn't win, understandably.
Who did win?
Forrest Whitaker.
Last King of Scotland.
Yeah. So
enough.
Another bit of an Africa theme, but overall more convincing performance. I would say.
Not bad, that
Forrest Whitaker. No, it's all right. It's all right. It's got James McAvoy in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
saw that a long time ago.
I liked him in it. Yeah. What about Connelly? Because I have some strong thoughts on Connelly.
Yeah. So, firstly, I mean, she does seem to have been around forever, yet never really leading anything that I've noticed. But
she is woefully miscast.
Yeah. I mean, let's go straight to the recasting now for this one because I think.
Well, she's too good looking.
She is. Oh, she's more glamorous.
Yeah, she's like way too well turned out.
Yeah, and considering where the film is set and what's going on around, how glamorous she is, and actually she looks less glamorous later in the film when she's in London, all dolled up. It's like it's crazy, and that's kind of the come back to the mixture of like, what are you trying to be here? Like, are you pure Hollywoody glamour thing, or are you real and raw? And it's like, well, if you're doing real and raw, you've done that wrong.
I got to say, I like the male cast in this film, and I think her issue is primarily a casting one, but she didn't add very much either, I don't think, in this. If I was going to recast her, because you just mentioned that, I'm not quite the right age, but I think Dogged Reporter, I could really buy Linda Hamilton in this role.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that, but that's it's your prerogative. You can get her on the casting couch, do what you will with her.
Failing that, Charlize Theron, I think would be a good shout.
I mean, when you're saying too glamorous, I mean, I know she has done unglamorous before, obviously.
Monster,
yeah, but that was a lot of prosthetics and stuff. I'm not sure how unglamorous you can make her without shoving a lot of prosthetics and McDonald's in her.
All right, you didn't like Hamilton. You're not going for Theron. Can I interest you in a Claire Danes?
You could maybe get me a Claire Danes.
A Homeland-esque Claire Danes.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, she seems a bit more hard-nosed, gritty. Yeah,
I believe Claire Danes.
I mean, I see your Claire Danes and I raise you an Emily Blunt.
You can raise me an Emily Blunt any day you like.
I think, firstly, making that character British rather than American might be a better way to go.
Here we go. He's off again.
I don't know. You get that being a BBC reporter, not an American news thing. I don't know. I feel like you could.
Is she too good looking though? She's a great actress.
I mean, yeah, but I reckon you can. Oh God, I was like, you could rough her up a bit. That's not what I was meant to say.
No,
You know
he's
what
on
I
the
mean?
casting
I
couch.
reckon, but I reckon, yeah, I reckon she could pull off, hair a bit all over the place, and looking a bit dishevelled and
She's
unwashed
great.
for a little bit.
She's
And she is brilliant. And I think she does the effortless beauty better, and can, I think, also act a bit better. And up against Leo, who's doing a bit of a show, and it really means he's kind of giving it his all. I think you need that strong presence opposite.
What about Djimon Hounsou? Scene stealer for me. Absolute scene stealer.
Yeah, Solomon Vandy.
Yeah.
Reg Vardy, as I just was calling him throughout. Yeah.
Bit of a niche one, that.
Yeah, it's a bit niche for a local audience. No, I thought he was the highlight, to be honest, from the main characters, definitely.
He's a really good actor.
Yeah. Surprising that this is post Gladiator, but he didn't really do a lot until this and maybe the island and stuff. Considering how he was quite a major character in Gladiator, and that was a little bit successful.
Apparently, he got paid really poorly for Gladiator and this.
And this,
yeah,
interesting.
That's Hollywood, isn't it?
Yeah, really reinforcing the negative things that probably trying to actually face up to in this film. No, well done. But yeah, I think he's the highlight of the film for me. Nominated for Best Supporting, which I think much more. No, he did not win. No, he lost out to Alan Arkin from Little Miss Sunshine.
Okay.
What do you think to Little Miss Sunshine?
I've only seen it once a long time ago. I couldn't give you a.
Yeah, I remember liking it. I think I've seen it twice, maybe twice. I remember liking it.
I like Alan Arkin.
Yeah, I like an Alan Arkin. He's and I think he was pretty good in that, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And, so probably rightly lost out to that. I mean, I've seen some people say that he's I don't know, almost overacting in this, but I mean, he's got some pretty emotional things to be going through. To be fair, and I don't know.
Well, again,
the emotion comes across at the sort of right level for me, anyway.
It depends what you're pitching it. Again, I think in a Hollywood popcorn movie, he's got it spot on. You need a strong character there.
Also, he's got mad football skills. Did you see the scene where he just did like a rainbow flick?
Yeah.
In the middle of things.
Yeah, he's had loads of time to practice.
Yeah. When he's not fishing.
Yeah.
Just out
in war-torn Africa.
Yeah.
He's had loads of time to practice that. Speaking of war-torn Africa, now David Harewood, he was very, very
Captain
convincing.
Eye Patch.
Very nasty. Very
Captain
convincing.
Poison, actually. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I mean, disappointed. So he is from Birmingham. Would have been much more fun if he'd kept the accent. Would have been good, wouldn't it?
He's done a few different accents, I think. He's American in Homeland.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen him in something where he's definitely not got a Brummie accent.
I didn't. I don't even know if he's got a Brummie accent, to be honest. He might have gone to theatre school very young and lost that. I've no idea. But I didn't even recognise it was him, to be fair. So yeah, he was all right as Captain Poison, the bad guy. What about the Colonel?
Arnold Vosloo.
Yeah, or otherwise known as the guy from The Mummy.
Yes.
Which I can't. Have I seen him in anything else?
Yeah, Hard Target.
Have I seen him in anything else?
All right, not a Van Damme fan. That's fine. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know that I could name him in anything else. Just those three things. I think he's underused. I think he's great in this.
Yep.
There could have been more of him.
And an actual South African who weirdly sounds less South African than Leonardo DiCaprio because he's somehow got less of an accent.
I imagine he's been living in America for 30 years.
What, the Colonel?
Or
the actor? Right, okay. Well, maybe though. I mean, you never know. But yeah, another couple sort of minor characters that popped up that were worth mentioning. Jimmy Mystery as the pilot.
Oh, I missed that.
You notice him?
No.
So he has like one line and then just referred to as being a right bastard. But doesn't really do anything to deserve that. Basically, just watch that pilot. He's gonna rip you off.
Fair enough.
From that one line where he broke him out of jail. Yeah, he seems like a right bastard. Definitely.
I mean, this podcast is going to go on for a long time if we're appraising characters who had one line.
I know, but it's Jimmy Mystery. I just thought
fair enough.
like, oh. And then the only other one I want to mention is Michael Sheen.
What do you have? Half a line?
As Diamond Wanker.
Diamond wanker. Oh yes. Oh, he is a diamond wanker.
Yeah.
Unbearable
Full on Tony
shit.
Blair mode as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but I thought, as a pompous rich man, banker type. Yeah.
Good actor.
Yep. So, what about recasting? We've already mentioned the Maddie Bowen character, Emily Blunt. What about the main character? You see another Danny Archer in you?
Yeah, I've got two.
Go on.
I think both of these are more rounded than DiCaprio. I could buy them as the soldier as well, as the arrogant prick. Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, I can see Viggo. I haven't seen him in anything for ages.
Good actor
Has
again.
he disappeared?
Good actor. He was in, last thing I watched him in, the newest thing I can think of is 13 Lives. The cave,
that was
cave rescue
only
thing.
like 2 years ago, or last year. Yeah, that was quite
Something
recent.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to see that.
Viggo Mortensen and Chris Evans.
Captain America, Chris Evans.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Not the radio DJ and.
Just give him his due. Could he pull it? No, I don't think. No,
not in that son.
no. No. Yeah, he'd been bothered right out the traps, wouldn't he?
Would be kind.
I've seen Chris Evans in a film called The Red Sea Diving Resort, where he plays, based on a true story. It's a good little film. It's worth a watch. Where he plays a CIA operative in, again, war-torn Africa. A lot of similarities. I think he could do a really good job in this role as well.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I had Idris Elba.
What
for
can
Danny
Idris
Archer.
Elba do?
What can't he do? Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he can definitely do an accent. So I've heard from his time on The Wire. Right? He did The Wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if he rocked up with his Invictus accent now.
Yeah. Fair enough. But interestingly, Russell Crowe was the other option for this for the director.
Once upon a time, I would have lapped that up. To be fair, in 2006.
Yeah, but that's like, what, 3-4 years after Gladiator, is it?
Yeah. He could probably, yeah. At that time. It's difficult to think of him as that Russell Crowe now. We've got
imagine him not
a very
fat
different.
And
he's not just that. He's just a complete, he's like I don't know. He's just far less convincing to me these days, I think. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it.
That was probably right in his hot streak as well, actually, wasn't it? That period of time.
Yeah.
Beautiful Mind, was that around?
I want to say that was
Got to be around
08, something like that, maybe.
Yeah. So maybe that wouldn't have been too bad.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that's the only two I had really. I didn't recast the Jimmy Mystery character.
No, yeah.
No. I think he was fine. Yeah, fine as that one line.
What about anyone else? I haven't got anyone else.
I don't think he can recast old Djimon Hounsou. No,
he's good.
Who else are you gonna get really?
But he just made that character his own, didn't he? So
yeah, I think it was
a
alright.
difficult one.
Yeah, it's good. Liked him. All right, let's talk production, which we are obviously experts in.
Oh yeah.
Deep knowledge of the details.
How many screenplays have you got to your name?
Oh
yeah.
Too many to mention. I mean, I could list them off, but we'd be here all day. Yeah.
I just don't want to mention mine.
No, I suppose. Yeah. Well, it's under your pseudonym pen name thing, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to ruin that.
No.
Yeah. What was it? Quentin something, wasn't it? Your.
If you like. This has gone further than I thought.
I may have taken that one step too far. So for me, production-wise, the main thing is it's too long. It's too long for if it's trying to be a Hollywoody kind of film, big action Hollywoody thing, and it comes down to, again, if is it a message movie or is it an action movie? The big Hollywoody parts kind of reduce the power of that messagey part, and some of the big action set pieces I just don't think really land for me. There's like one major sequence, right, where they're running through like exploding cars and gunfire going left and right, and I've seen it done much better in many different places. It seems like it's just like run, shoot. It doesn't. You don't never really feel like they're in the danger. A bit shaky cam as well, which is all the rage. but yeah, that's one of the things on the production. Too long for what it's trying to be. I feel like you could cut out a fair bit fairly easily. And yeah, the action parts themselves, I think some of them don't really land.
Well, I don't disagree on the too long thing, although I've called it out on the plot because I don't think it does do a great job of being a thinking movie, and that's not how I watched it.
No, fair enough.
But focusing on just the Hollywood side of it, length aside, I really enjoyed that epic quality that it brings. There's some fantastic shots in there of both, the sprawling sort of valley when they're in the diamond mine bit. I love how they put Africa on screen as well. So we'd go through like a colourful street with people singing as the soundtrack, which I really liked. And then the next shot was pigs in a rubbish dump on the side, and kids. I think were going through. I love that juxtaposition, and even then it then cuts to the bar scene, which is a beautiful shot. And then strolling down the front, you've got armed soldiers. Again, that juxtaposition is there. I loved that side of it. I loved how it managed to capture that.
And there are some nice shots, landscapey shots, like making Sierra Leone look as gorgeous as I'm sure it is. I'll be honest, I didn't really like take note of a couple of those things that you've mentioned in terms of the the pigs in muck and then juxtaposed. No, that's not all right. Try that again.
Try again.
Set against the.
Oh right, yeah, nice little swerve.
Set against the beautiful sort of beachy, luxurious beach bar.
What's happened there then? Because you enunciate so much better than I do.
Juxtaposed? Is it just juxtaposed?
Yeah, I guess so.
I added an extra syllable in. That's where I was going.
Yeah, right.
Juxtaposed or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Juxtaposed.
Very good.
Anyway, let's never speak of that again. But yeah, I mean, we've touched on this already with the Maddie Bowen character being too glamorous, but I think there's almost a little bit with that with Leo as well. Like he does get messed up, right? He gets a bit dirty, it gets a bit bloody and stuff. Not his hair though. Beautifully in place, never moves.
He's probably got that in his contract.
Yeah, hair must look beautiful. Honestly, if you rewatch it, you'll notice his hair is just beautiful.
Fair point. I mean, we spoke about this in the cast. I can't say I noticed DiCaprio's hair, but certainly the production choice to have made Maddie so glamorous is a miss. We agree on that for sure. I liked the way, and again, this is a real Hollywood Oscar bait thing, but I like the way that Archer was obviously really, really flawed. He's an arsehole, essentially. He's very, very self-serving. And we know he gets this cheesy character arc and all the rest of it. But I still think it's credit to DiCaprio that he brings enough charisma to sort of make you root for him a little bit or like him a little bit. I think he's cool. I think he's just cool.
Do you not think it would have been better if they'd made him a Cockney? Because then he could go, Diamond. Oh, it's Diamond, mate. Oh, give us a Diamond.
No.
No? Get recast him as Ray Winston.
Yeah, Ray Winston running through with... will you buy Linda Hamilton with Ray Winston?
Oh, I'd watch that. Yeah. Give him a moustache on him there. Right. It did get 2 Oscar nominations on the old production side of things. One for sound.
I liked the soundtrack. It was people driven.
It's not the soundtrack though; it's the sound.
Ah, so we have to know what we're talking about here. Yeah. Right. Shall we move on?
Yeah. No. Well, we did. It did also get one for editing. Any ideas?
No.
Cutting and sticking.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, it could have been edited a lot fucking shorter. So maybe that's why they didn't.
That could be editing, or is that pacing?
I don't know. I think there's got to be a bit of. I don't know. Oh, we're showing ourselves up now. Let's move on.
One thing I would like to call out, having been a little
shit.
No, I was going to say being a little hesitant to like. This is a terrible way of putting it, but I didn't like the brutality in No Country for Old Men when we discussed that last week.
Yeah, indeed.
And obviously, this film pretty early on opens up with a very garish shot of somebody getting their arm lopped right off.
Yeah.
The difference here, and why I think this was a really good decision, is they don't do that again. They use it for a very specific purpose, that shock factor. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's where we are. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they don't do that again. The rest of it is implicit after that.
It's a question
and
for you.
I liked it. I thought it was very effective.
Question for you. Short sleeve or long sleeve? What would you choose?
I don't know. Yeah.
I think
what would you even say? What do you think would be more useful afterwards?
Yeah, you could still, you could still carry the shopping.
No, I mean, I'd rather not think about it, to be honest.
Okay. You mind
carry the shopping?
So, anything else that you would change?
Not production-wise, plot-wise, yeah, but not production-wise.
Yeah, so just more Cockney geezers, less glamour.
Yeah, I think if you do tighten up the plot a little bit, you might naturally end up having to move towards something a bit grittier, and like you say, mess Leo's hair up,
or just a touch, just a couple of strands.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
But no, I like the production of it. It was good for me. What about you?
No, I mean, I think the making it shorter, the glamour, and more Cockney geezers. I'm sorted.
Cockney geezers.
Yeah, just someone just shouting "Diamond."
Yeah.
Okay, now we've covered the intricate details of production and demonstrated we don't know what the hell we're talking about. Which is
I thought it went well.
Brand.
I thought it went well.
Let's move to the plot. Something I think we can really get our teeth into with this one. After you, Carl. Go on.
I've written... You'll like this.
Go on.
It's tight. It's big. I like it.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that's your dating profile, I assume?
Well...
Tinder?
No.
Grindr.
It has still got that third act problem. So, yeah, it does meander a bit. But for the most part, it is a pretty simple, straightforward story. I think it moves along at a reasonable enough pace. And I quite enjoy it as that action thrillery type film.
So, I think this is where I've probably got my most major gripes. So I've talked about it being too long, which part of that's obviously the symptom. What leads to a symptom? The cause of that. There are I think there's like repetitive scenes in here that we don't necessarily need to see over and over again. So we get that he's trying to look conflicted, right? But I found like the flip-flops in the Leo character just to be, I don't know, a bit annoying and becoming more like inconsistent, but not in a way that feels like it was his character development. It was just like, we've already done this. Like we get it. He's a bastard. Oh no, maybe he's got a bit of the. No, he's a bastard. Oh no, maybe no, he's a. Oh, I need to throw in a bastard. Sorry, I've been doing too many as.
Too many bastards.
Yeah, I need to even this out.
Too many Sean Beans.
Yeah. And so yeah, there was that, and then the other sort of repetitive-y part was, and what you could really do without, was the sort of love interests, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, like, yeah, I agree with that as well.
We get it, right? They're attracted to each other, but
like why?
But why? And like so many like when he was getting all emotional on the porch, did not ring true. And just like as soon as he starts like choking up a bit, just the dripping wet looks that she's giving him on the porch and stuff are just like, oh yeah, I'm lapping this up, Leo. Yeah, show me a tear. Oh, he's a bastard. But he's got a family history. No, not for me.
I really enjoy how much you're thinking about this one, but when we spoke about No Country for Old Men, you completely missed the allegory, which all the fanboys for No Country for Old Men insist is the thing that makes it the gold that everybody reckons it is.
You used a big word I didn't understand. I mean, tell you what they do score points for. No sex scene, which I thought it was leading to. I thought I was expecting that porch scene to lead to at least a morning after something or other, not a morning after
Yeah.
pill. I mean, just like a morning after scene.
Well, on your, I don't disagree. But I think again to take it as a Hollywood relatively unthinking film, it still flirts with making some really good points. And I guess the way I've taken it is that's probably enough to just flirt with making these good points. So I loved the bit where they had that exchange in the bar and she says, "We say Zimbabwe now, don't we?" And he says, "Do we?" Now, a really serious film who was taking those sort of issues head on wouldn't have been taking that from the white man's problem with how Africa has been rebranded and whatever. We'd have been taking it, from black Africans. But it's still the sentiments there. It's just not followed through with, to make it that sort of film. There was another great bit, a great exchange where, a couple actually, with Vandy and Maddie. People were less likely to buy a ring if they never knew because someone their arm. Actually, I don't think that's true. But that would be a great point to sort of explore. And then when he's going to people reading to help, she just goes, "Probably not."
Yeah, I did like that actually.
Which again, a really great point, a really great observation. It's in there. It's in the film.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really get into it. But I think it does just about enough there, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You could almost, I reckon there could be almost like a completely separate film that looks at the whole of that angle, right? The whole of, look, there's people reporting on this, but and they actually catch it a little bit in when she's writing on her little laptop or whatever, and she's starting to it's like the scene of him and his family meeting and him being torn apart and stuff, and the way she's written it is all clickbaity, basically, essentially. And you feel like you could have a whole separate film of it just being like a Maddie or another character of that sort of angle as well. I feel like I've seen a film like that recently. Oh, the film I saw that was kind of a little bit like that, kind of, was it's got Jonah Hill in it, and it's called something. This is great podcasting.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good guess. It's not going to be called The either. That's the
but
problem.
you did leave yourself a lot of options there.
Yeah, it could be.
You played the odds.
Just bear with.
Yeah.
Right. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Right now. Here it comes.
Yeah.
I cannot find it. Oh, shit.
Was it Jonah Hill? Or was it someone else?
I'm pretty sure it's Jonah Hill. Where the fuck is it? What was it called? Oh, this is brilliant.
I'm thinking of War Dogs, are you, by the way?
It's not called The. No, I'm not thinking about it. It's called True Story. It begins with T.
Never heard of it.
True Story. So it's got him and James Franco,
right,
in it, right, and it's about a disgraced New York Times reporter who, and there's an angle of it that. That's what it goes. That was definitely worth me spending 5 minutes trying to find that to make that point.
Yeah.
Well done, me.
What you said about there's a film to be made about Maddie as a main character. I have that down as well, and I think you can do that either way. You could make her the main character in the slightly less unthinking action thriller version of this as well, because I still think her arc is more interesting than his. He would make a great side character, right? It doesn't matter that he's not that well developed because he's just there to be the prick who facilitates her journey through the country, right?
And I think that actually comes on to one of the major things that I would change. About the plot.
That film will never get made.
No,
not with this budget.
But the one thing I would change, one of the things I would change is that his kind of like redemption at the end, that you shouldn't have it.
He doesn't need one.
He should continue to be a bastard and get outsmarted by Djimon's character.
Yeah.
And end up dying. Same way. He can die in the same way on the same hill. That's fine. But essentially he's not giving his blessing. He's like, bastards.
I agree.
Up with me.
And again, I say that works either way, serious or thinking piece. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
it fits a lot better with Maddie as the main character. Not this Maddie, obviously.
No, Emily Blunt maybe,
but a better Maddie.
Yeah. Just a thought. Quick move over to Dictionary Corner, if you don't mind.
Go on.
So there was one line in this, because when we're talking plot, I also think that means the dialogue, right? Does that count? Sure. Why not?
Well, it's a production.
I don't know. Who knows? We'll make it up. We'll change it each week.
Yeah.
So he says, it's a conundrum. that means you have no choice. I'm just like,
that's not what a conundrum is.
No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a confusing and difficult problem or question. That's not, you have no choice. That's a very, how did no one spot that when they were doing it? And I don't think it was intentional. I don't think it was like, I see what he's doing here. He's making a joke. No.
I don't know, yeah.
You see what he's doing here? He's uneducated and doesn't know what conundrum is. I don't think he was doing that. It was just a very odd line. And it's like both me and my wife looked at each other and went, no, it's not. Anyway, back from Dictionary Corner. Come out from the corner. Here we go. Right, there we go. The other thing that I want to touch on is the predictability of it, which, big Hollywood film, whatever. Look, maybe they are predictable to an extent. I think you could have gone in a few more interesting directions with this.
That's a good one. I like that.
Kill Archer would be good. Bond villain, I've written down here. So Captain Poison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As soon as when he's hiding that diamond, right, and he gets found out, and there's that explosion, and he kind of looks over and you can see his one eye looks at him, and I'm just like, he's gonna have a reveal later.
Yeah.
Where he shows like his messed up face and messed up eye, and it's like, see, he's really bad because you know what? He's got a facial injury, which means he's evil.
They do that Bond villains as well, don't they?
They do, and it's. I wrote it down as soon as I saw it, and I was just like, it happened. I hate it when I'm right. It's so irritating.
Facially disfigured people are evil. That is what we're to take from this.
Yeah, it's everywhere, though. It's ridiculous.
No, that's a fair call.
The other predictable moments were the Red Earth callback as well. So where he's... it's so hard not to try and do the accent when you're doing this. No, you can actually do a good accent, a good South African accent.
I don't know if I could do this one.
You could do a South African accent.
I don't know if I can do this one.
But yeah, he sort of he like lifts up the dirt and he goes, red soil or whatever, so blood is here or something to that effect. And I was just like, oh God, he's gonna die, and he's gonna lift up the soil in his hand and be like, he's got, and that's exactly what happened in the death scene. Spoilers. And also to a lesser extent, and this, I'm not saying I would have changed it because it makes me sound like a horrible, horrible person, but it was really obvious that his son would come back to him, and that it would somehow end like kind of happily, like to a degree happily. It would have been such a nice, brave moment if his son had got ripped apart.
Yeah, it's not going to happen in this film.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Again, a stronger... That would have been a powerful film, right?
Yeah,
considering how much you've said, like his father is really, really loves him, really invested in him. It's his life, right? To get back his family.
And this is at the heart of our disagreement, right? You keep saying stronger. I think the word I would use is different. It would be a different film.
It would be a different film. Better.
And yeah, it might have been a better film. But it would be first and foremost a different film. And we're talking about this film that isn't really trying to be those things.
But then it does have, right? There has powerful moments, and it has things like they show the children being brainwashed, being drugged, having that abuse of...
And it does flirt with those things. Look, again, I don't disagree. I think the other thing about if you do make it that more serious... By the way, I didn't have this down. I think the suggestion to kill Archer would be the single greatest plot change you could make to this movie.
I mean, he does die.
Yeah, but like...
Yeah, in a shit way. Yeah,
without that redemption arc, that cheesy thing. I mean, I had down that, they should move him to the side and it should be Maddie as the main character and all the rest of it. I think if you do make that serious film, you also have to deal with the fact that Djimon Hounsou's character would not be the same at all. I think about how much the role of fathers has changed in our society, a quote unquote more developed nation, right?
Because when is this set? This is like late 90s?
Something like that, yeah. I think how much, that's changed in our lifetime as well, and you don't have to go back much further to see how radically different it is. I just don't think he would be, I don't want to say that bothered, that's a really callous way of putting it, but I think it changes his place in the movie completely. So
it would be a bit less powerful. He was just like, lost another one.
But that's not what they're going for. They're going for that cheesy, it is a bit Oscar baity, but it's kind of just let's switch off and we give them this nice big arc. I don't disagree that you can lose some of the stuff going on with Archer, the love interest and all the rest of it, and the
100%.
the cliched ending for him. But
interesting. Have you seen the trailer for this film?
No,
like not on. I'm just going to have it in the background here. So
yes,
you can see
more
it.
great podcast content.
Right, so it's all available for you on IMDb. You can just go. It's the first thing. It's the first thing that's there. Right. It is really not what the film is, as well. Like a bond. Really? Is that what it's about? Is it about a bond between
those two? No, there's more like an uneasy alliance, isn't it?
Yeah. Just it's incredibly like. I'm not sure I want to go see that film. I'm not sure I want to see this film either. But I definitely wouldn't want to go see that film. Can we get to my nitpicky parts?
Nitpick away.
Oh, excellent. So this is where I do the thing that like I have a go at people at, which is like finding plot holes and picking away at them.
Irrelevant stuff.
Which is like, well, stop thinking about it so much. Yeah. Right.
Because as we know, you don't like to think about films too much.
I don't. I like to let them wash over me. I think the problem is, though, is that doing a podcast about movies is kind of making me think about films, for Christ's sake.
Well, you could have done with a bit of that last fucking week. That's
that was the first one, wasn't it? I hadn't started thinking by then.
Yeah.
Just needed one just to activate it, and now I'm never going to be the same again. I've ruined films for everyone, for me, for everyone.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. You've already did it for beer for me, thanks. Now we're on to movies. Great.
Yeah.
All right, so these are the bits that really annoyed me in the last... Because you alluded to a bit of a final act problems, right? Yeah. So these are a few things, right? So the most annoying part, right? So the Reg Vardy character is carrying him on his back, right? Running up a hill, carrying Archer, and then he kind of goes like, oh, no, stop. Oh, the pain's too much. It's like, you were being carried. Like, what do you... I don't get it. Just carry on. You're not doing anything. And then he goes, the Vardy character, Vandy character says, I could carry you. You're like,
you were carrying him.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. And you were. And you could pick him up again and carry him if you cared that much. Stupid.
I don't know about you. I haven't been shot enough times to sort of know what he was going through there. I don't know how it works, that sort of pain.
Yeah. I imagine it's pretty sore sitting up, standing down, or being carried, I'll be honest. Yeah. And to a point of like, well... You know,
suck it up.
Yeah, it's what you want. The other part, right, and this is really nitpicky. But I genuinely shouted "fuck off" at the screen when it happened, right? So at the end, he calls Maddie, right, and you think, oh, that's nice. He must have a number written out. No, he's already given the number away to Vandy, right? So he doesn't. He's looked at his number, memorized it. Put it into a satellite phone. It's like 25 digits long. And he's just like, yeah, I know this. Yeah, I looked at this once. Got it. Calls her up. Is like, yeah, dying. Fake tear. I'm just like, fuck off. You're not going to remember that. And this is exactly the thing. He's like, I shouldn't be worried about this.
No.
That is a stupid thing to be worried about. But
I mean, the sign of the times, really, because the having only looked at it once is an issue. But remembering the number is not at all. That's how we used to have to do it.
I didn't remember anyone's number like that, though. Like, after dialing it a million times after reading it off, you become thinking, come on. Yeah. I mean, I say, maybe...
Well, the thing is, because they weren't shagging, what else was he to do on an evening? He would probably just sat reciting a number.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just ingraining it.
Hoisted by your own petard, maybe.
And then when we get to back to London, Maddie meets... Vandy on a pedestrian crossing in the middle of a road. Is that where you arranged to meet? Like, did you just stumble across him in the middle of a pedestrian? It's very odd. Very odd.
They wanted it to be public, though, didn't they? They called that out.
In the middle middle of a pedestrian crossing. I don't know, just one side is fine. Yeah, don't know. And then the other bit, and again, I shouldn't notice.
I'm not
going to
defend these things. It's
no,
ridiculous.
I mean, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't even include them in the podcast when you edit it. But sod it. Where is she taking the pictures from at the airstrip? We're doing like the handover of the money and the family come in and stuff. There's like these pictures from all these different angles. It's just like, you're in an open airfield. You can't be standing in any of these places without being seen. So, and then the last bit was, where did the son come back from? How is he with his mum and sisters? How has this happened? It's not, they just roll up in a big private jet and be like, oh, there you go. Where'd they come from?
How are things at home? Are you all right?
As I say, it
Anything
really
else
annoyed
you
me.
wanna talk
And
about?
I think, again, maybe these are the symptoms of just not liking the film that made me
Oh,
want
do you
to
think?
like
Yeah.
pick things out. I don't know, just throwing it out there. But yeah, anyway, that's my list. That's my list. I do have a question for you though.
Mm-hmm.
What's your feeling on text that appears at the end of a film? You know, explanatory text.
I thought I'd never really thought about it before. It's used in quite a lot of films, I would suggest.
Yeah. Vandy went on to father another 8 children. It didn't say that, but like that's the sort of thing that it says, right? And just gives an update on characters or stuff that happened. It annoyed me in this film a little bit because it got messagey.
Yes.
At the end, right?
Well, the whole thing with the conference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Give this man a standing ovation.
And I mean, yeah, okay. They pushed the black guy up there to do it, but it was all a bit white saviory, that bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and there is that whole white savior angle, right? Which is a little bit uncomfortable. I don't think there is a black character in this that is not a monster or a helpless villager.
Have you heard of the Bechdel test?
No.
Is it Bechdel?
I've not heard of anything. Why don't you explain what it is, and then we'll see if I've heard
yeah,
of it.
I'd have to double check the actual word for it. I assume it's named after a person, but
Alan Bechdel.
Yeah, you can apply it to movies
Bechdel.
where women are concerned, the female characters, and it's basically you'll fail the test if the first time a woman appears in a film, you'll fail the test if she's talking about or
ironing,
like lusting after a man.
Got you.
And you know, apparently, you look at Hollywood films, like a ridiculous proportion of them fail this test. I wonder if there's a similar thing for racial stereotypes like that, because you're right, they do lean into that in this film, which, if it were a more serious film, is fairly indefensible.
Yeah, I mean, you can at least say at least the white savior was African. At least there's that.
Yeah,
but if it wasn't an American, is what I'm saying. That it would, you know,
that's a prickly couple of 100 years of politics,
or British. Yeah. You got anything else? Anything else on the old plot?
I mean,
what did you like?
No, nothing else that I like, because again, I didn't take it that seriously, so I'm covered off with the big basic shoveling popcorn into my face.
Good stuff. The Simon angle, I like it.
Yeah, and I think it's just that third act. It falls flat because they haven't really got anywhere else to go if they insist on giving him this silly redemption arc. And then they lure themselves into this white saviour thing, which the film hasn't been serious enough to really stick that in, I don't think. Or if you feel like that's what it was going for, then it hasn't been good enough to pull that off. I guess then you've got the problem of, well, how would you end it? And, you know, I don't know. It's not...
With him just dying and not having the redemption. Done. Sorted.
Yeah, but then, you know, what was the point of her character? She's then the main character. She needs an end and all the rest of it. And again, this is where we come back to just being, well, we're complete amateurs. I don't have to end it. I just need to say what I don't like.
I don't need the answers. I just tell you the problems, goddammit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the opposite to, don't give me excuses. I want solutions. No, I'll point out all the...
Yeah. That's why I'm here. I'm the audience, goddammit.
No answers.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, now we move on to the This Is Why You're Wrong. So this is essentially our closing arguments to finally see if we can move that needle for the other person. So I'll go first. For me, it's stuck in this place of trying to say some important things and really knowing it and feeling like it knows it's trying to be messagey. But with all of the black characters reduced to either being the crazy violent monsters or the powerless victims, and having that whole white savior thing doesn't really carry in. And on the other side, you've got this big budget action romp buddy movie, if you're going to believe the trailer, complete with an unnecessary love story and a big redemption arc which doesn't feel deserved, warranted, or necessary. Yeah, that's me. It's a firm don't like.
I have kind of come out of the gate with lots of enthusiasm for this, and that's kind of lost pace as we talk more and more about it, because the things I like about this film are very, very direct and one-paced, and if it is taken as a more serious expose of war-torn Africa and conflict timers and all the rest of it, it is borderline offensive. You know, I still think it works as a sort of a popcorn action movie because all the things I said at the start, it looks good, it sounds good. We've got some great screen presence from the actors, but in terms of moving my needle, I was actually cold on this the first time I watched it. Pretty dismissive, actually. I just dismissed it because he had a silly accent. I thought, this film's rubbish, all of it, because he's got a silly voice. I watched it again, I can't remember when, but obviously in more recent years. I actually think I dismissed it the first time because I don't like DiCaprio. More than just his accent. I don't really like DiCaprio. This film isn't for me. When I gave it a second watch as a more mature person, yeah, quite liked it. As we watch it now and sort of talk about it, I might have been right the first time.
What you're trying to hide up is that I've convinced you in this last hour that I've really, really changed your mind, but you can't admit to
no,
that.
well, I think I was just right. I was right the first time.
Yeah, that's basically what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't say I don't like it, but I'd probably come down to ambivalent, I reckon.
Excellent. 1-0. Okay, and let's finish things off with the data section. So a few ratings first off. So for me, I've rated this 4 out of 10 on IMDb, 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. The IMDb rating, 8 on IMDb.
That is too high.
That's way too high. That's genuinely like that's great film territory. 8 out of 10 on IMDb. Like, well, see what else is up there.
Ratings are a mug's game.
Yeah.
You'd have to question why we bothered to put them in the podcast.
I like ratings. I like comparing and contrasting.
But let's get that is too high.
Yeah. Metacritic 64. So that's like the consolidated views of critics, who in theory know more about what they're talking about than us. And overall Letterboxd 3.7 out of 5. So again, closer to that whole 80%-y kind of area. Where's it sitting on your scale? You remember where you've rated it on Letterboxd?
I haven't rated it on Letterboxd yet.
Okay. Don't want to do any spoilers for me, is that it?
I will rate it. Yes, I can't give you the inside track before we sit down to talk about it.
Just read all your reviews and go, oh yeah, I'll just answer all of them. I'll beat him out of the gate.
The joke's on you, they're not my reviews. They are.
That's true, actually. It's just from
Reddit. Poorly reworded reviews of better, more intelligent people than there you go. Yeah, I mean, I'd have it sitting somewhere around the 2.5 or 3, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth saying. I might labour this point a lot as we talk more about these films.
I'm sure you'll labour a lot of points as we go through these films.
I will labour those points. Don't you worry about that. It's worth saying that my Letterboxd rating doesn't necessarily represent whether or not I like a film. I'm trying to inject a bit of objectivity into my ratings and say whether I think it's good or not.
Oh, sure. I've rated it 5, but I hate it.
I definitely won't be hitting the like button on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I do like that little feature on Letterboxd.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. Cool. Rewatchability. Where does it fall on the old rewatchability scale for you? For me, it's a firm. Please don't make me watch this film again.
I probably would watch it if it was on. I probably wouldn't turn it over.
When you're going through terrestrial TV channels late at night.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's not how I consume movies at all anymore. So
I don't. You completely lose that, don't you? Of just like stumbling across. What do you mean? I don't stumble across film. This is at my parents' house.
Yeah. So the thing is, so if I went round and my dad had it on, would I say turn this shite off? No, I don't think I'd say that.
No.
No, I mean, I probably would rewatch it. I think I still like enough things about it. But yeah, it's
pure popcorn mode. You just go. I'll look at the explosions.
Yeah, it'll do.
Cool. Best scene. What's your best scene, Carl?
Now, what did I have as best scene last week? No Country for Old Men. The motel.
Testing my memory here. Yeah,
the motel. Now, was there a bar scene in No Country for Old Men? Because if there wasn't, that would explain
I don't think
what I'm about to embark on.
I can't think of one.
My favourite scene in this film is a bar scene.
Right, yeah.
And I often like bar scenes in films because I think they generally tend to be a nice setting for a bit of sort of escapism and it's usually the characters are talking in bars, right, as well. So I really like the bar scene in this one. I think I called out earlier how beautiful that scene was as well.
Yeah.
With those soldiers in the foreground, it just looks like a really
service
cool
is a bit slow with that barman now, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's dead in there.
Yeah, it's dead. Very good. Yes. What about you? What's your best scene?
Mine actually, I was struggling a little bit, but then actually I remembered when I first, and it's similar. It's a bar scene. When I first saw them drink, what were they drinking at the bar? Do you notice?
It's Guinness for an extra stout.
The export Guinness at the bar. And as you know, Carl.
You don't like that.
I don't like that.
Yeah, you don't like
No. But it's so good, that beer. I used to do it at the local, well-known supermarket.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one. But I want to see if they still have it. This has inspired me. I want to find it and drink it.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a while. So how much did you want to be there at that bar drinking one of those? Because they would say it was behind a beach, right? Now, don't tell me you're going to do that thing where you go, well, I wouldn't want to be there. It was war-torn. Because you're thinking about it too much.
I wouldn't be drinking that beer on a beach, though.
But let's say that's all there was.
Yeah.
That's all there was.
Sure, why not?
Isn't that one of the great beers? That holiday beer, the local beer, the one that's on when you just sat down at somewhere nice and yes, I'll have that because everyone's drinking that.
But I reckon what I'd be doing is going like, can I just have a pissy lager, please? 'Cause it's really hot.
Yeah.
Just essentially something that's water, but with something a bit different tasting. Thanks. But yeah, I really want one of those. I'm actually I'm always salivating right now just thinking about that beer.
Yeah. Great.
But yeah, that was the best thing for me. Best quote. So there's some really bad ones that I want to just point out first because they're hilariously bad. So in America it's bling bling, but out here it's bling bang.
Do the voice.
No, it'd be so bad.
Yeah.
It would come out, I don't know, Pakistani or something, I'm sure, in the end. But that just read what you've written. It sounds shit. And then also when he says, I like to get kissed before I get fucked. And he's like,
There's a load of South Africans and Zimbabweans now listening to this. He doesn't like our patter. What is this guy's problem? First the Chinese, then the Americans.
But my actual favourite quote, I'm going to find something wrong with every single country. That's going to be my challenge. How many countries are there in the world? How many podcasts do we have to do?
Like 182 or something.
I have no idea. You could say any number. So anyway, the quote that I actually did like, and it's one I'm going to use at work. And it's Maddie, and she says, and if that's not you, and you're not really going to help me, and we're really not going to screw, then why don't you get the fuck out of my face and let me do my work?
I would love you to use that at work.
You would have loved to use that at work when I was working with you.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really work when you're remote.
Yes. Someone's just going to hang up and go, fuck was this problem?
Yeah, but I love that line. What about you?
I've got two that I really enjoyed, which I think I've mentioned both of them already. I really liked this. So when people in your country read it, they will come help. Yes, and probably not. I think that's a great line. But again, I'm back in the bar. And she goes, "We say Zimbabwe now, don't we?"
Oh yeah.
And just, do we? I mean, that's a real do we two words. That's a real. That's a real line. I couldn't write a line like that.
Yeah.
I'm far too verbose for that. But that cuts straight to the heart.
No argument, Carl. No argument there.
I've made it impossible to argue with that point. I know. I love that. I think it's great.
Favorite character?
Well, I liked Archer because
just not as a main character.
Yeah, just not as a main character, but he was a really useful character in this film. You know, he's a facilitator basically. He's a prick, and I thought DiCaprio managed to make him sort of cool enough to be like, oh, this guy again. So yeah, I liked Archer. I thought he was pretty cool.
I'd probably go for the old Colonel. I think he always felt like one of the most authentic characters. You could see him kind of running.
Underused, good character.
Yeah. So yeah, quite liked him. Did it make you cry, this, Carl?
No, and I cry at a lot of films.
I don't think it even made the actors cry at one point, but
How do they fake that?
I don't know. So I didn't notice this. Right, this was one of those things that doing a bit of reading afterwards, and someone was like it's a CGI tear. It's like
they actually put a CGI tear on.
Like fix it in post.
That's really. There must be a practical solution.
I don't know if that's exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. There's that stuff, right? They've got like a thing that basically makes your eyes water.
So a second ago when I said, "How do they fake that?" and you went, "I don't know." What you meant was, they've got that stuff. Yeah, you do.
You must do that all the time. Where you like say so. Yeah, but no. You just say the complete opposite straight away. I don't know.
Top three.
It didn't make me cry anyway.
Top three DiCaprio. Let's
wait, hold on. Gratuitous nudity. We missed off that field. Come on.
So it wasn't a tearjerker.
Was it a jerker?
No gratuitous.
No. I mean, there was the stripping in jail with some tasteful shadows.
Fucking hell of a shadow.
It was. Are we going there?
Massive shadow. He's in some shape, isn't he? Djimon Hounsou.
He is. He's a unit. But yeah, that was tastefully done nudity that you didn't see anything. So no, it doesn't fall on the gratuitous nudity for me.
Well, that is a good point as well, because actually, he didn't even need to get naked.
No,
right? They could have sidestepped that completely. But having made the decision to go, no, he is going to get naked. That was a nice way of just going, yeah, but you don't need to see it. What's that going to add?
No, exactly.
So yeah, fair play to it.
Yeah. All right. So, where does this fit in Leonardo DiCaprio's catalogue for you?
I think I'd have said quite low anyway, because I do quite like a lot of DiCaprio films.
If not him himself.
Yeah, if not him himself. He's got a hell of a filmography, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I do think he's got more misses than people...
He's got a misses every other week, mate. As soon as they hit
as
21, they move on.
No, 25. He's 24 and under.
Oh, is that?
So when they hit 25, they're out the door. Is that the case with his latest one? Because his latest one wasn't turning
up with it, I'll be honest.
I'm sure when this did the rounds on Twitter, his latest one, it did the rounds because his latest one was about to hit the magic number. Anyway, we'll look that up. Yeah, I think it'd be quite low anyway. I haven't got a full rundown, but I've got top three.
Go for it.
My top three. I don't know if these are in any particular order. No, in fact, I think they are. Yeah. So, number 3, DiCaprio for me is Inception.
Ooh, okay. It's in my top 3. It's probably top of mine.
It's a great film. But I actually think there was a better Leonardo DiCaprio film came out that year. Which was Shutter Island.
Hadn't seen that until recently. Emma kept on trying to get me to watch it, but it's a bit
good taste will get her on it.
A bit too scary for me. But I did watch it, and he was very good in it. I didn't love the film, but I thought that was
You see the twist coming?
No, I don't. I've told you about my lack of thinking during watching films. Like even if they spelled it out, I wouldn't have seen it coming.
it's a film that really pays off on a second rewatch
Okay.
because there are so many things where you just obviously now you know the twist that it's impossible to watch them the way you watched them the first time, and it's like watching a different movie. It's
I can respect that.
Really great.
What's your number 3 then? Oh, number 1 even.
Number 1, yeah. Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about Catch Me If You Can.
love
I
that
feel
film.
like I should replace one of these. So I had Inception, Departed, Wolf of Wall Street. But I said throw in Shutter Island in there if we're just talking about him as an actual performer rather than
No,
the
let's
overall
stick
film
with the
for me.
films you like.
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can. Are you gonna punch one of those out then?
Yeah, that's difficult. I like all those.
I don't
Maybe
like
get rid of Departed.
or
Yeah, I might.
Wolf of Wall
I
Street.
might get rid of Departed because I didn't really put these in any particular order. But I might rewatch Departed as well because it's been a while, and plus it's hilarious watching it with Emma because
Ray Winstone's in that.
I watched it. Yes, I
Not
watched
doing
it.
his Cockney accent though.
Watched it the first time with Emma, and she didn't realise that the Matt Damon and the Leonardo DiCaprio were 2 different people. And it's amazing how many times we reference this. Like, whenever you see Matt Damon, it's like that's a different character to that one. You see
That's
Leonardo,
fantastic.
it's just like they don't even look that similar. Like, not that similar. One of them's got a cast on their hand for most of it. Anyway,
I mean, there's a whole like
I don't
good
get it.
15 minutes of exposition at the start of that film.
Hey, look, we've all got blind spots. Mine's my wife. No,
Ooh.
no, I don't mean that. Please don't leave me. All right, what about the old director, Ed Zwick?
I haven't seen a lot of his films,
No, me neither. I realised this as I was going through them.
but he's got some really big titles in.
Last Samurai.
Yeah, I like that film.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah, I like that film.
It's got Tom Cruise in it. Of course, you like it.
Yeah, I do.
It didn't leave an impression, or I've not seen it.
I like
Either way, I think I'm going to watch it. It's like over 3 hours long, though.
I can't remember. I haven't got a ranking because I don't think I've seen enough of his films.
No, true.
But I remember looking down the list thinking, well, the ones I've seen I think I quite like, and the other ones I've seen, they're big. There's some big names and they're well thought of films.
Yeah.
So I guess on the strength of that, probably this is going to come somewhere inching below the middle.
So,
but I don't know enough honestly to be able to rank them.
yeah, just going through. So like, I talked about Last Samurai, Defiance. I have seen that, but I can't really remember.
Not seen it, but it's one I want to watch.
Love and Other Drugs, which just like reading about, I was like, I feel like I might be a good one to watch on a Friday night. Not seen that.
Well thought.
Jack Reach and Never Go Back. I don't think I've seen that one. I think that's the second one, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
it's
Tom
not as good as
Cruise
the
Reaches. So I'm not sure I've seen that. Legends of the Fall, obviously sequel to Anatomy of a Fall. Prequel, yeah, maybe. Not seen that either though. And then Trial by Fire, which again, not seen it. Watched a little trailer for it. Looks quite good. Might watch that.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's an old miscarriage of justice movie, which I'm
Okay.
quite a fan of.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, Mr. Zwick.
Are you putting
Or
this one
Vic.
low then?
I have no idea because I've not seen it. It's literally about the only one that I've seen that I can remember. But I might watch some more of his stuff, and then maybe we'll have a special. We won't. Sorry, we won't have an Ed Zwick special. I'm sorry. Cool. You got anything else, Carl?
That is it for me.
All right. Well, that's it for me as well. So that is all we've got. So if we moved the needle for you, or even if we didn't, please do get in touch with us by email at hello@mtnpod.com. We should probably actually check that email at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And our Instagram as well, so MTN Movie Pod. We're also on various other social media thingies as well. All the details will be in the show description, I'm sure. So from me and Carl, it is goodbye.
Goodbye.
Carl, you don't need to wave. TIA, Carl. TIA.
For fuck's sake.
This is audio.